Welcome back to 4% Business Owner Television. I'm Cher Cunningham. I'm your coach.
I'm Jim Pillow. I'm your consultant.
Today we want to share with you a short video about a really exciting time of year, really exciting program that we're going to be providing starting on January 27th. We've got a full day program that we're going to do with some follow-up resources that we'll share with you then about how to plan your year. We're not talking New Year's resolutions here.
We are not. But it is kind of an interesting time of the year to have the break and step away. And surely, if you're like us, all business owners think about what they're going to accomplish during the year. Now, in a more formal process, your business planning, because it's part of business planning, really. Your business planning would have started in October in a more structured environment, and when you get to January 1st, you're implementing the first year of your business plan. But if you're new to this process, if you're new to the business planning process, tackling the first year of your business plan as a unique opportunity to see what you're going to accomplish this year is a really good way to start that process.
And it's nice because it lets you kind of reset some of your assumptions. You can look back, like we talked about in a previous video, before looking forward. And you kind of get out of that status quo of it is what it is. And there is a sense of it's a fresh new start. It's an opportunity to create more choices and a little bit more objectivity. The challenge, though, is if you're sitting by yourself, looking at your business going, what are we going to achieve in 2023? How do I make those decisions? And that's why we've got this program we're doing on the 27th. It's called Do This Next. And it's not just what to do, it's why to do it. And from there, you'll have some homework on how to do it. So the Do This Next takes into account where you're at in your business, but from the CFO level, Jim is going to share some of the things that a CFO does every year, planning the year ahead.
So what you really want at the end of this, because it's, there are a lot of moving parts in a business, and you can't keep 100 things in your head and keep them all going successfully. So part of the reason that you go through this process leading into the year, which again is the in-year of the business plan, it's the first year of the business plan, is to set the priorities on the deliverables that are going to have the biggest impact on your business, that you've determined are going to have the impact that you need on your business for the year. And there's a tendency, I guess, to think about the activities that you're going to undertake in a qualitative sense, and there's nothing wrong with that. So maybe you have a marketing program, or maybe you have an employee training program, or maybe you're implementing a new system. So there are all the qualitative aspects of that, which are, the system is going to make us more efficient, and training my employees is going to improve the quality of your product or improve your processes. But from a CFO's perspective, in order to prioritize the activities, because surely you can think of 100 things that you'd like to do in your business.
Absolutely.
And you can't do 100 things in your business. You can really only do 3 at a time. The quantification, actually putting some numbers on the key aspects of the performance of your business as part of that setting, what are we going to do this year, and communicating that with your employees is so important to allowing you to prioritize properly, so that you do the things that are that have the most impact on your business, commensurate to the resources that it's going to take to implement that particular action.
And so what I love about quantifiable goals and prioritizing is it helps you gain focus. Many people come into the new year, and especially this year, with a little bit of fog, a little bit of confusion. When you're thinking about all the squirrels that you could chase for the year ahead and the multitude of ideas, most of them have not been quantified. You don't actually have an objective set. You have an idea of what might help because you've seen other people doing it, or it seemed to have worked last year, but you're not really sure how well it did. So being able to bring it down to 2 or 3 priorities that are really going to move the needle It also takes off the overwhelm, which will take away the procrastination and help you turn that into something that you can integrate into how you're running your business each quarter, each month, each week, and tomorrow. And I think that's one of the vital things is execution only happens when you've limited your priorities to things that you can achieve. Most people cannot spend 20 hours a week working on their business, and priorities happen because you're working on your business. So when Jim shared this sheet, he actually shared it at our last summit, and people's eyes lit up that there is a process to identifying the priorities that you should be doing at this stage in your business with this theme for your year ahead that will make the best difference for you now, that won't sabotage your business by doing something too soon, doing too much of one thing. And it's reasonable, it's understandable. Jim has this amazing way of taking the complex and explaining it in a way that we can absorb. And so that's what we're capturing at this Do This Next Day. So I thought we'd just run through the fact that there are a bunch of levers you have to pull in your business. And by that I mean there are things that you've already been doing that if you did them more, did them better, would exponentially change your business. You've probably heard the idea of quantum leaping your business. These are the ways you do that. It's not by working harder. This is how you work smarter.
And you can do them differently as well. That's a way of changing the impact that particular activity has on your business. And we call them levers because there's a row of them basically on the wall of your sort of business, and you can pull. Do I pull a marketing lever? Do I pull a sales lever? Do I pull a finance lever? If I pull a marketing lever, wow, there are 5 marketing levers. Which one do I pull? So each one of them has a different impact on your business. And the session on the 27th will actually using a finance-based tool, a CFO tool that I've used my entire career to summarize what it is that the business is working on and what the expected impact of that's going to be, so that you can share it with your employees, you can put it on your fridge at home, you can post it above your computer at work, because if we using the rock analogy, you've got a bowl, it's got a certain size neck on it, because if it's got a small neck, you can't put a lot of big rocks in it, and that's kind of a resource kind of thing. But beside your jar are all these rocks. You got to choose which of those rocks you're going to put in there first that are going to take up the most space.
Yeah, I love that analogy. It helps you understand your own capacity, and it will keep you from beating yourself up when you recognize and respect your own time. The other thing that I love about this event we're putting together is it's an intimate event. We will be working with you specifically with advice, with coaching, with your numbers and your current situation, even if you're not really sure where you're at now. That'll give you a chance to ask some questions and say, well, how would I know? And we will work with you one-on-one during that day to identify that plan, so you will be proud and certain as you put it on your fridge and share it with your employees that this is actually based on real data.
Right.
So Jim's alluded to there's really some at the strategic level, you're really looking at executive skills that right now, as the owner of your company, whether you've stepped into that CEO role or not with confidence, there's still a lot of hats you're wearing. You're wearing the sales hat, you're wearing the marketing hat, you're wearing the HR hat, you're wearing the finance hat, and you are the CEO. So there are some thought processes you should take some time to do. And that's what we're doing with you, is setting aside a container to think about things. So as the CEO, this is a place that as a coach, I work with you a lot. It's on business skills. How could you improve your business skills in 2023 so that you get greater results? And we'll go through some of the ways that has a real measurable difference. Leadership. How do you step into some of the leadership skills and activities this year, and which ones are missing? Because really, when I'm sitting down coaching with you, it's identifying what's missing that if you added it, will transform your business. So we'll look at that as well under that CEO hat.
And this ability to translate the things that you want to accomplish in 2023 into an easily explainable, easy to focus on thing is actually a business skill. So it's a thing that you learn once, that you would learn once and go, I really like the way this template works. I like the way it makes me think about my year coming up, and you'll be able to reuse that in your business forever. It's not limited to a specific business size, a general business skill.
Right. This is a year after year thing. And why it's so crucial that you step into leadership is you set the direction for the year. Your team afterward, whether you've got a team of 2 or 3 or a team of 20 or 30, the team helps you move your vision forward, making it the mission piece, the personal mission for the year, the how we're going to move it forward. Absolutely, your team is going to be involved in that. And we'll actually have an episode on how do you do that, meeting with the team to get their buy-in, to get them taking ownership of their piece of the year ahead. But as a leader, it is your role to step back, get that 30,000-foot view of the year ahead, or the 10,000-foot view of the year ahead, and how it falls within your business plan and what you're building. So that's the CEO levers that we'll talk about.
Right. The sort of a fundamental principle or a fundamental construct of building a business that gets out of the doldrums, and we talked about the doldrums pretty extensively, it's kind of that place where you get stuck in building your business because you've got too many employees to manage effectively, but not quite enough profit yet to hire somebody. And even if you hired somebody to manage some of your employees, how would you train them? How would you delegate to them? So that whole process, and we are advocates of a tool to get systems into your business called systemology. We talk about a lot about that at our summits. So that actually is one of the levers, and it's a really foundational lever to enable a bunch of other things that you can do to get more profitable in your business.
And that really falls into that finance arm of levers, right? The ability to become more efficient. And there are a variety of ways to get more profitable. So those two levers of efficiency and profitability, there's some gold hidden in there. It's a bit of a treasure hunt that we'll go through of just, again, stepping back and recognizing the things you have control over that you may not have had a chance to look at when you're in the day-to-day of the business. Next one up on our group of levers is just sales. Often what we find as businesses grow, sales is an aspect where more skills are needed. That might mean you need to become more skillful yourself, but it might be something that you're going to outsource, might be something you're going to hire. And so we'll have a look at how your sales can be more effective and more consistent, so that you get out of frantic marketing and sales and frantic delivery and build some more consistency into the year ahead. Or you take your existing sales that have become stable and you identify how to make them even better.
One of the outsourcing or one of the aspects of systemizing your business is that it allows you to delegate. And delegation, having an intent to delegate in the current year and thinking about what the impact is will probably surprise you. So we think that CEOs of businesses should always be trying to increase their effective hourly rate, if you want to think about that. So if you're doing the work in your business, you might be making $100 an hour. If you can step back and delegate that, you can be doing $250 an hour activities in your business, which is not working on your business typically, unless you're a lawyer or an accountant, for example, or a consultant. But it allows you to work on the business. And the idea is to get you to $1,000 an hour kind of model where the activities you do add $1,000 an hour. So central to that is delegating. Foundational to delegating is systemizing. Putting systems in place so that the person you bring in that you're going to hand off some of your management responsibilities to knows what it is you do, as do the rest of your employees. So that delegation and then deciding whether some of the hats you wear would be best served by bringing in some expertise. And we have an entire fractional model that we work with our clients on to help them get the expertise at less than, obviously, a full executive cost.
Right, because realistically, as soon as you go, I don't have the skill to build this business to the next level it could potentially reach, you're actually building freedom. That's actually a powerful thing to realize because the business has grown bigger than you at that stage. And that is not a negative. It's not something where you should be falling into imposter syndrome or unworthiness. It is a time to go, yeah, it is bigger than me. Who can help me with this? As opposed to how do I muddle through and fake it till I make it? That is not actually the only place fake it till you make it is really valuable is in confidence. You can fake your confidence until you become confident. That's it. Nothing else should be a fake it till you make it scenario. So even just listening to this and hearing that there are resources that you may not have known about that can shore up your business skills, but shore up the business skills of your business without you getting better, your business can get better. So we'll talk about some of those areas that are actually so much more accessible this year than you think you're ready for, because they are cost effective, they're efficient, they are streamlined systems to bring into your business that you may not have even seen.
And I think the that suite of levers that we've talked about are probably things that aren't thought about generally, especially in a small business model. What is the impact of me as a CEO becoming a better leader? What is that? So there are some things here that you probably haven't thought about, and I think the last set of levers are the ones that people typically think about when they think about making changes to their business, which is the marketing levers.
Although they don't typically think about them the way we're going to talk about them, right?
True.
They think about maybe I need a stronger social media presence, or maybe my website isn't as attractive as it should be, which is very, very tactical. It's something that may fall out of the levers, but it may not. It may completely miss the mark. And we see this happen a great deal, that people think marketing is my website.
Right.
When in fact there are some really specific, very powerful and actually instantly activating things that you can do right now that changing nothing else will change your business.
Yeah, it's very likely that in the session, working with us, that you will find that some of the larger rocks are going to be marketing rocks. Mm-hmm. And that includes things like pricing. Mm-hmm. Are you selling your product for the right price? Or service?
I had a conversation with a colleague of ours a few weeks back, and she said she had not adjusted her price based on the change in cost of her materials in 2.5 years. So all of the COVID mess, all of the logistics mess, she'd not looked at it. And when she finally did, her hair stood on end because the change had been so dramatic. And that doesn't mean you can pass on all the cost to your client, right, but it does mean you need to become cognizant of where you're at, and also some of the tools of how you compare your pricing in the marketplace that we'll look at to say, is this a lever that you have been neglecting that could really make a difference, and why it is very possible to change your price without damaging your business. There are definitely some give and take around will I lose some clients, but we'll talk about why that's actually a good thing as you're growing and as you're getting known for what you do with excellence in the marketplace.
And while the next couple of things that we would talk about are tied into price, because price is going to be the manifestation of your use of those levers in your business, differentiation versus your competitors. In other words, is your product or service priced right, and can you charge a premium relative to your competitors? So the right price is the one that makes you competitive. Differentiation allows you to add a premium on top of that. So differentiation is a very powerful lever, but you can only differentiate if you understand why your product is different to a specific set of customers who are the ones that you need to be pursuing. And we call that the client avatar lever.
This is not a conversation to have inside your own head because you are not your client. It is a conversation that needs to be had about, and this happens a lot, where we are incredible in this place. This is our 1 inch of excellence, which is what I help people aim for. The thing that if it just becomes a no-brainer that we want to send people to you for what you do, if you're not talking to the right people, then you're not going to validate that differentiation correctly. You need to also step back and say, have I been serving the people that really value this differentiation? And who are those people? So that's that client avatar work. And it can be very easy, very comfortable to dive into that discovery of who is that avatar and how do you need to speak to them.
And once you know your avatar, the other piece of the marketing sort of classic puzzle is, am I providing exactly the right product to that specific client who's going to respond to it? And it is possible that your product scope is too narrow, that you're leaving money on the table with that client because they would buy more from you in a product that was broader than the one that you currently offer. But it's also possible that your product is larger than what the client needs and wants to pay for. So optimizing the scope of your product or service to match what that client's needs are, that very specific market segment, the inch that you're incredible at, scaling your product to that niche is another lever you can pull on.
Yeah. So as we go through these levers, you're probably thinking, wow, if I knew all that, if I had that level of certainty for my year ahead, I would multiply my impact. I would stop wasting time. I would start inspiring my team. And that's absolutely true. So if you're not doing this, if you don't already have a way to do this with certainty, you really are sabotaging that year ahead, muddling forward, seeing what goes, waiting to see what happens. There's no need to be in that position. And that's why we're pulling this together. And I encourage you, if you don't have this already under your belt as something you do every year, this investment of one day of your time is going to transform how you show up as a business owner and how your business shows up in the marketplace. We're going to put some links to some of this checklist information underneath and the takeaways, but also so you can register for the event, find out more information about it. And if you say, I'm not sure this is for me, how to connect with us so that we can do a coaching session and see, is this for you? And really tie this more specifically and personally to you.
As a consultant in the finance world, I'm so excited about the power of this tool that comes out of this. This is not just, hey, maybe we should do this. This is, let's together work to quantify the impact of you pulling that particular lever on your business in the next 12 months. What is that going to do to your revenue? So we'll work with you to figure that out. What is it going to do to your profit? And for you to walk away with a tool, again, stick it on your fridge, talk to your employees about it, put it above your computer, and that will be your focus for 2023.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly excited to bring this to you because that ability to have that certainty is what lets you execute, lets you get out of procrastination, lets you know that you're investing your time well. So we're really excited to bring this to you. We've put into it, we're hoping not to overwhelm anybody. We're putting in just what you need to understand about how successful business owners plan their year ahead so that you can do exactly what those business owners do and get started on a really powerful year, right? We kind of come out of COVID. We're not looking at more shutdowns. It's time to stop being uncertain and have your plan that matches where your business is at now to take you through so that December 31st of this year is a place of pride, place of accomplishment, and something that you start creating this month.
And it doesn't actually matter if your year ends July 31st or October 31st or March 1st or December 31st. This is kind of a humanist view of how your year is going to roll out in 2023. So not to worry if your year ends not December 31st.
Great point, right? It takes you through 4 seasons. And in Canada, we need to do that. We need to look at business through the whole 4 seasons, no matter when they start and no matter when they stop. Fantastic. Excellent. So we are excited to talk to you more about this and to see you at this event. It is a limited size. We're going to keep this a fairly intimate event so that we can give you the one-on-one support. So thanks for watching today. Please share this with anybody that you think is at that stage in their business where it's time for them to get more certain, to get more focused and get the results that they deserve with their 1 inch of excellence.